People are just starting to hear this thing, virtual power plant. But in your space, when I'm thinking about fast food franchise restaurants and health centers and fitness centers and all like the places where you guys go in and you say, well, we're going to acquire this company out of San Francisco that's a leader in distributed energy resource management, and we're going to run this thing at scale for all these mid-market businesses. What's the upside? What are you trying to accomplish?
Let me be clear on a point. I've allowed us to be a bit pigeonholed into looking like an energy efficiency player. And why? Because we're being incredibly successful. It's easy to understand. If you think about it, we've almost built a virtual utility behind the meter. And nobody's ever done that. If you look at energy in general, you got the demand side and you have the supply side. Today's world, it's a supply-driven infrastructure in the energy world, which means the world builds these big centralized power plants, and they had to put all this money into the wires to get those electrons to the facility. And the funny part to me is the more important aspect of that demand-supply equation is the demand side. If it wasn't for the demand, you'd have no supply. And it's the demand side that's creating all of the use case. It's what is now with data centers creating more demand than we have supply, which then leads to potentially blackouts, price increases, et cetera. And it's funny because nobody really said, I'm going to become the leader on the demand side of that whole curve. Now, if you buy into that with me, it's not just lowering the use on the demand side, it's being able to manage it better. If I have the ability to have about a 20, 30, 40% flex on that demand side at any moment in time, and through software I'm able to do that, all of a sudden I can get rid of peaker plants that are out there when there's a high demand. That Budderfly sits here in a city, and let's say we have 1,000 restaurants, and the utility in 1 minute from now needs 20 megawatts of power immediately. We could take 1 degree off of 1,000 places, no one would notice, and all of a sudden we deliver that to the utility because a data center needs it. Well, let me put a storage battery in there. And if we don't mind paying for it, all of a sudden I put a 150 kilowatt storage battery. Not only can I give you 1 degree, I could basically have that dispatch on 1,000 storage batteries anytime you need it. So all of a sudden Budderfly becomes this powerful demand side manager. And you could argue our power is more flexible than the supply side. So when we did the SunVerge deal, they have specialized software. Because this is complicated, right? To be able to know when and how and all that. We now have control of all the equipment in these places. And again, we don't want to affect their operations. So whether the freezer is 0 degrees or 2 degrees, it doesn't matter to the food. The food is happy, no matter which.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You follow that? But our control position in this market for the benefit of doing better for the world is the most important value, I believe, of what we created at Budderfly.